Do you want the best build in Elden Ring? Do you even know what it is? Well, why don't I tell you? Comet Azure, as you can see, absolutely melts all endgame bosses. And the funny thing is, you can actually get this build, the entire setup, within 2 hours of starting a brand new game, as I'll show you. So for your starting class, there's only 2 classes that are actually worth using. To start out is the Astrologer class for ranged builds, which we should be using, or the Samurai class for melee builds. As you can see, it has the best spread of melee stats and has an incredible weapon to start out the game. But you could use either of these because we barely need to level up for this build. You only need 36 intelligence to use this setup, and we'll be using the Astrologer though. And what I would recommend is, for the keepsake, use either Stone Sword Key or Golden Seed. The moment you start the game, you just want to grab the Tarnished Wizened Finger and then run straight through the prologue area. It's pretty quick. You just want to cross that bridge, get into the fight, and then, I mean, feel free to try your best against this big guy, but more than likely he'll rip you apart. So skip the next few cutscenes or watch them as you see fit. Down there is the tutorial area. You can hop down. Otherwise, just run on through. Those yellow things on the ground are called Sites of Lost Grace. They're your checkpoints. Either way, head up the elevator. This is the starting area of the game, main area. Activate that because we'll be coming back. And then you just want to run straight over to the church, or the ruins of a church. And then once you come on inside, you want to activate this grace. Next up, you want to head to that mark on the map in order to pick up a better map. And then you'll just want to go to the left of sorts. You can feel free to grab this grace before you pick up the map, so you don't have to deal with the enemies. Either way, rest at it, talk to her, and then you grab the Spectral Steed Whistle, equip it. Feel free to use your consumable slots, but I find it better to use your pouch. Just equip it in there, and then you can activate it by holding the select button and then pushing on the D-pad. Then you want to teleport to the Church of Ale, because you can now grab little minions known as Spirit Ashes. You want to equip those in your pouch as well. Once you've done that, you want to teleport back to the gate front, and then just follow the path. You just want to go all the way. No need to fight any of these enemies because there's not really much use or items you get from it. Whenever you see those little trees, you want to pick up the item at the bottom. It's another golden seed. You can use it to increase your healing. Up here, you want to grab a stone sword key. Feel free to talk to the woman in the shack and grab the grace site. Otherwise, just follow up the path. And what you want to do is you want to stay to the left of the path, because there's a ballista at the end, and it may one-shot you. As you can see here, that's the ballista. But you want to run in here, grab this grace site. If you continue further, you can fight the first boss, but he's a little too tough for us at the moment. But he won't be tough in like an hour. Either way, you just want to come out, follow this left path of sorts, and then you'll come across this bridge. You just want to go across the bridge, and there's like a drop down you can reach. Yeah, right here. Essentially just go into this like canyon or whatever, this little path on the side. Make sure you don't accidentally fall off the edge, but you have a decent chunk of room, so just be careful and you're free to go. It's a little long, and obviously ignore the wolves because they're not worth your time. Right outside is another grace site. Activate this one because we'll be coming back here as well. And then you want to take a left in order to go into this ruined church. Grab this item, and then we'll actually be coming back here once we get a certain item. So anyways, you just want to drop down here, and then there's an enemy camp right about there, and you want to target the map because we'll be going right around there. So go around the enemy camp so you don't get attacked, and then you could grab another gray site, but once you get to the map, there's like 3 enemies. They could one-shot you, so be very careful. Either kill them all or lure them out of the way. After that, you just want to sort of go straight. Eventually, you'll come across these ruins. Feel free to grab that gray site, and then from that gray site, you want to head to this little tower of sorts, and then activate this teleporter. And then activate this gray site. And then you just want to come out, and then you'll hop on to that rock of sorts, because we still need to grab a few things right outside of this area. So you want to be following this wall, with the wall on the right side. Keep a little bit of distance. And so eventually you'll get a little icon to appear on the left side of your screen, that little cemetery or like little gravestone icon right about here. And so by this dragon, you just want to grab that one item, and then you just want to bolt out of there, because that dragon may be able to one-shot you. Probably will one-shot you. Once you get to that gray sort of fog door, you want to just come straight out. There's another gray site. We'll be coming back here as well. Feel free to talk to Melina at this point, because whenever you rest at a gray site, you'll have to talk to her. Feel free to go the round table hold, but I'm not going to do that right now. Anyways, we'll head there on the map. And so go straight. Eventually you'll hit this gray site right about here, and then you'll find an icon for the map. So you just grab the map, and then you want to hop off of this elevated area to the right. You want to sort of go down and to the right. And then you want to essentially hug this left wall or the canyon, whatever. And then the moment you start seeing hands, you'll know you're in the right place. And especially when it gets dark, you'll see this little sort of elevated area. You grab that item, and then just let these guys kill you, because we have nothing worth getting. And make sure you don't accidentally step on that guy before you grab the item. Either way, we're just going to come straight back. That's where we were to grab the intelligence item, and we want to come right about there. With these red jellyfish, you'll know them when you see them. You want to sort of rush through that little carriage, and then you can grab the jellyfish shield. Feel free to grab that site of grace, and then you'll just keep going straight. Eventually you can grab another site of grace, but you'll want to come around to this tower of sorts, and then there's another site of grace, and then you're going to want to do a little bit of platforming. Just get up onto this fence of sorts, get a little far up until you reach this like door, and then you just want to climb up the stairs. And open that, you grab the memory stone, and then you want to teleport back to the gray site right here for the Raya Lucaria Academy. Feel free to activate that, and then head up the elevator straight through this path. At the end is 2 enemies. You want to be swerving out of the way so you don't get hit. You can maybe survive 1 or 2 hits, but not much more than that, so be careful. Take a left, and another left. Activate this gray site in case you die, and you're going to be coming back here later on as well. So just follow this path. Avoid the blue skeletons, because they're able to grab you, but if you just keep running, they won't be able to touch you. So once you get a little far, right about to that torch, you want to roll off, grab the armor, and then hop off. Equip the armor, because it looks a lot better and it's a lot more effective. You can't equip the jellyfish shield yet effectively, but don't worry, you'll be able to soon enough. Now you want to teleport back to the first step, site of grace, and then you want to sort of be going all the way to the left side, right about here on the map. And then you want to just hop off to these sort of tornado looking things. I don't really know how else to describe. And so you're able to hop off them from what would normally kill you from fall damage, and then you're able to hop to very high heights. Either way, now we'll be heading over here. So you just want to sort of make your way down, and then it's a straight shot. Eventually, you'll want to grab this Site of Grace. And then we'll be heading pretty much straight across the path. Not that way, the other way. So follow this path. And then feel free to jump on this. Spirit Spring, I think it's called. Feel free to jump on it. Once you get around here, you can feel free to summon your dogs in order to avoid the ballista. But once the first shot's been fired, you can just skip right past. And then just essentially follow the path. You'll eventually come to this sort of broken down carriage. You want to grab that item. Notice the Morning Star, and then let the dog kill you. So now, once you're back, you want to go a little bit up on a path. You can feel free to go to the gate front, and then sort of follow this path right about to where I've marked on here. And then you'll eventually come to the Third Church of Marika. Feel free to activate the Grace Site, but you don't really need to. And then make sure you grab that item, as well as that item. And then feel free to use them. The Sacred Tears increase the amount that can be healed with your healing flasks, and Golden Seeds increase how many times you can heal. Right here for the Flask of Wondrous Physic, you want to mix that up so that you can use our Intelligence item, which gives you plus 10 Intelligence for 3 minutes, which is a significant amount of time. So, and significant boost. So behind the church, you want to come to this portal. And then you want to open this door. Activate the Site of Grace. And then once you're outside, you essentially just want to go straight. Eventually, you'll come across another little tree with a golden seed. Make sure you pick that up. And then feel free to grab the Grace Site. Otherwise, we'll just be running straight across this bridge. Don't worry too much about the dragon. You could go under his legs or jump around, but that's kind of risky what I did. You're pretty much always safe. If you just go under his legs, he won't be able to hit you. As long as you decide not to like stop or something. Just keep going. You could grab these items. They give you some runes in order to level up a bit, but we'll be leveling up significantly in a minute or two. So hop up here, use the Memory Stone, or grab the Memory Stone, and then you just want to hop back down using that Spirit Spring, and then hop back up to the elevated area. And then we're going to want to come about here. You can see that big tree, so we just want to go behind this big tree. And now there's a Grace Site right by this big fort of sorts. Activate the Grace Site, and then you want to come straight through here. Be careful of the enemies here, because they're able to one-shot you as well, but essentially just climb up the ladder. Feel free to open that treasure chest. It has a pretty rare and important item, but I'm not using it. Anyways, come through here, hop through these wooden planks, and then you want to hug the left side, because that big rat is able to one-shot you. The little rat can almost one-shot you, but you still survive the attack. After you've died, you want to come by this big dragon, equip the Morning Star, equip the Radagon Soreseal we just picked up, and then you want to two-hand the weapon by holding the select button and then holding the attack button. Feel free to summon your dogs, but I think they're kind of useless. I just did it for fun. And then you're going to want to be hitting this dragon for a good 5 minutes. I think, but it's definitely worth it because it'll make the game super easy for us. Now, once the enemy has a low enough amount of health, which you'll quickly see, you want to pop the golden pickled fowl foot and then just keep whacking the enemy. After a while, it'll finally die, and then you'll get, I believe, 95,675 runes. Not exactly 100,000 runes, but definitely a significant amount. So keep that in mind. And of course, you'll definitely want the Morning Star because it's able to chip away massive amounts of the boss's health as opposed to just very tiny amounts of damage normally. Either way, you're able to level up a lot, like 30 times or so. What you want to do is get your intelligence to 36 and then dump everything else into health so you can survive attacks. Next up, you'll want to come around here on the map. This is a pretty complex area, so I'll show you exactly how to get there. What you want to do is you want to come by this sort of giant skull right there. You want to sort of loop around the giant skull, and there will be a spirit spring sort of right underneath. You want to hit it, and then you want to jump from it once again in order to sort of skip the like running you would have had to do normally. So avoid that boulder. It may one-shot you or may do significant damage. Right about here, you want to activate this grace site because there's a great staff you can get here, but I'm not going to show you how to do that. Not now anyway. Feel free to grab the golden seed that was at that tree. I kind of forgot. And also feel free to grab this grace site. Either way, you just want to go towards that marker. Eventually, you'll get the grace site right here. From here, you just want to take a hard left, and you'll get to this ruin, or this set of ruins. Right in there, you'll get the meteorite staff. I accidentally grabbed it already. And then from there, it's just a straight shot to these sort of larger ruins. You want to run to the bottom, and then grab this, the rock sling spell. Now we're ready to take on the first boss, known as Margit the Fowl. You want to equip the spell, as well as allocate your flask so that you have plenty of Cerulean tears. Make sure you equip the staff, make sure you equip the rock sling ability. Summon your dogs, and then essentially just keep spamming the spell, and he'll go down very quickly. The rock sling spell is great because it'll literally knock down enemies, which lets you get several free hits in. And then the meteorite staff is the strongest staff in the game without being upgraded. All other staffs, essentially, you have to run around all over the place to upgrade it. So, very annoying to do. This one, strongest without upgrading. And it's valid for a good amount of the game, so level up maybe once or twice, and then, I mean, obviously pop the runes if you haven't already, but level up. Want to come through here, talk to this guy, and then getting to the next boss is very quick. You want to just tell him, no, I'll use the main gate. And you get to feel like a badass by doing this, but essentially just run through the main gate to get to the boss. What you want to do is get up to this corner and heal up. Once you've gotten here, you can essentially skip past all the ballistas, and then you want to take a hard right. Come through here, and then you want to activate the grace site that's right here. We'll be coming back here later as well. Just come straight out, take another hard right. Right here is a few more ballistas, so be careful of that. But you're able to tank a few shots, so don't really worry. These enemies are kind of annoying to dodge. You just want to dodge like right at the last second, so to speak. It's kind of hard to figure out the good timing, but you can take their hits either way. You have plenty of health now. Either way, you just want to come up here, activate this grace site. Feel free to let them kill you, just to keep things quick. And then right through here, there's these hawks. I'd recommend you kill them because they're very annoying. You could just use Rock Sling or Glintstone Pebble. There's only 2 hawks, and then just grab a golden seed. Run through these enemies. The giant doesn't really do anything. Either way, you want to take a right. Activate the Site of Grace, and then use your golden seeds to pop an extra flask. Right through here, you want to activate the Flask of Wondrous Physic. I forgot to do that for the Margit fight. Then summon your dogs, and then just keep spamming the spell. Try to avoid that attack, but like I said, you can tank all these hits and he's dead. Essentially, you knock him down, and then just keep spamming the spell. Once you get him to around half health, he's kind of difficult to damage, because he's sort of in an animation to get to second phase. But either way, he goes down very quickly, and your dogs will distract him for the most part. So once you're done with this, essentially just activate the Grace Site if you feel like it, but we're not going to be coming back here, obviously, because it's just a boss area. Level up. All we really need is just health. At this point, I wanted some extra endurance here just to make it 10 for an even number. So now, though, we're going to be coming back to the Third Church of Marika and coming straight down on the map, because I accidentally grabbed the map here already, but essentially you just want to target the map icon that appears, and then the dungeon we'll be going to is directly next to the map. So it's this big sort of building right here. You just want to go down the elevator. It's a very long elevator. Don't try to hop off too early or whatnot, because you may die and have to redo the elevator. So just take your time on that elevator. Either way, it's another sort of straight shot to get through this set of ruins, and then another elevator, and then another straight shot. Try to hug the right wall because you don't want to get hit by the crab that's on the left side. Right here, I'd recommend you activate this Grace Site, because there's like a few annoying things in here. Avoid those blue ghost-looking things or whatever you call them, because they can explode and deal significant damage to you. Otherwise, you just want to go straight around to where those wooden planks are. And then right about where this broken pillar is, you want to hop on top of the broken pillar, straight past this guy, and then enter this teleporter. Right through here, you just want to come straight. Avoid that enemy for the next few seconds, but we're going to be killing him as well. Grab that, you want to equip it. It gives you +3 to all your magic stats. You want to summon your dogs, pop your flask, and then refill your FP. The moment you start the fight, you get at least like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 hits. You want to target his main body. You don't want to target his legs. Target his body so you get as many hits as possible. And as you can see, you just absolutely melt most of his health. The moment he starts coming at you, though, make sure you obviously get away from him. Make sure he's targeting your dogs. Then once that's done, you can level up. And then I forgot to go to the round table hold, so I'll do that now, because with that extra set of runes, especially at this point in the game, we don't really need to level up, because we can actually instead just grab rune arcs for 4,000 a pop. Obviously grab the memory stone to equip some more spells later on. But then, once you're done, you want to just teleport to the Limgrave Tower. You got a straight shot. There's these giants along the way, but you're able to take their hits pretty well. Obviously, you want to try and dodge their attacks, but you probably will get hit a few times. The one with the bow, you want to sort of hide behind these pillars, because the bowman, I feel like, is the most dangerous, because he can hit you from wherever, but he's also easy to avoid if you just hide behind the pillars. Once you get to the end, activate that portal, and then just straight shot into the Divine Tower of Limgrave. Open the gates. And then head up the elevator. And then at the end, you'll come across a sort of set of fingers, and from those fingers you'll just want to grab the rune. Now we're able to go to Raya Lucaria Library or Academy, whatever. Run straight through. Now most of these enemies can barely deal any damage to you, so keep that in mind. Either way, it's a straight shot. There's nowhere else to go, really. Just come through here, and then you want to head to this sort of elevator. You can just hop straight down. You won't die. You may take a tiny bit of fall damage if you fall the maximum amount, but you definitely won't die. So hop off, try to kill the dogs, or try to just make sure the dogs don't get on there, because you don't want to fall off from the elevator. Either way, this next boss is very easy. You just want to keep taking a right, and then just avoid those enemies with their projectiles. After that, you just want to whack this empty bookshelf. Grab the Stone Sword Key and Comet. Comet is basically a supercharged version of Glintstone Pebble, so keep that in mind. Activate your Flask of Wondrous Physic, summon your wolves, and so now it's wolves against wolves. This boss is very easy though, like way easier than Margit even. The boss is fast, but as you can see, it takes like what, 4 casts of the spell to absolutely demolish this boss, and you get another memory stone. So keep that in mind. So activate this, level up. Yeah, I want some endurance, so yeah, level up. Then right out here, you want to take a left. You want to hop up that sort of rubble. And then you'll probably get hit a few times, but you can take it, just try not to die. And then just hop off. You want to pop your flask right about here because it's able to heal and give you that extra 10 intelligence. So feel free to use either Glintstone Pebble or Rock Sling. Glintstone Pebble's more cost effective, I think. I just love Rock Sling. Either way, right here, you can feel free to pick off those gargoyles of sorts, as well as that guy, but they're not worth your time. Try not to fall off here, but you want to jump onto this building, next building, next, then pick off that guy. But you don't really have to, because you'll just be hopping off again. You want to come off here, grab that imbued sword key, because you can definitely use that later on to optimize this build. So keep that in mind. Right about here, you could grab that, and then you want to sort of inch your way to hop onto the chandelier. Right here is the Glintstone Academy key. We'll be giving that to someone later. Try to make sure you don't get followed in by those enemies out there, but if you do, you can just rip them apart with Rock Sling. Either way, you want to kill that crab. You want to equip it, because this thing gives you 6 intelligence. So it's like, you know, 6 level ups right there. If you want to come back up here, there's not really much to get, but you can activate that in order to come back up here at any time. From this gray site, Church of the Cuckoo. Either way, you want to teleport to the schoolhouse classroom. And then we're going to be dying to a certain enemy, so what I'd recommend is obviously try not to have too many runes on you. Maybe level up once if you can to get as few runes as possible. And then you want to unequip your armor so this enemy is able to kill you a lot easier. And then equip a shield, because you want the enemy to kill you with a specific move, which is its grab attack. As you can see here, sometimes it'll charge at you and deal damage that way before it does its grab attack. That's why you want your shield up. Keep your shield up all the time, because the grab attack goes through your shield, so nothing to worry about. Once that's happened though, you'll teleport in here, just run through. Feel free to pick off the enemies with Glintstone Pebble, but Rock Sling isn't very optimal because it's a cave and Rock Sling will probably just hit the walls for the most part. But Glintstone Pebble, definitely feel free to pick off these enemies. Otherwise, just hop onto each of these platforms. Make sure you reach the platforms, because if you fall on accident, you'll die. But don't worry, if you die in here, you're kind of stuck here until you grab this grace site. And you also got to rest at the grace site if you want to teleport out for whatever reason. But either way, just want to run through here. I know it's dark, but essentially just run straight. Activate that pitfall. Don't worry, you won't die from that. Pop the flask. Hop through here. Summon your wolves. This axe enemy is very dangerous. He's going to always throw that axe at you, so you want to dodge out of the way. And then, essentially, you just want to kill him as fast as possible. Ignore the other one. This one with axes is very dangerous. His axe attack, where he throws it, is the only attack you need to watch out for. When he does that, you may want to pull up your shield, or the best way is to dodge out of the way if you can. But this one, just keep spamming Rock Sling and it goes down. Can't even touch you. So, as usual, feel free to level up. All you need, obviously, is just Vigor, because you just want to be able to survive. Equip the Great Rune now, because I forgot about it. And then after you equip a Great Rune, you gotta use a Rune Arc. And then this Great Rune gives you +5 to all stats. So, very powerful. Then from here, you want to teleport back to the debate parlor, because there's somewhere else we can go. You want to sort of hop on here, and then once you get up here, you want to hop to the next sort of platform in order to avoid the boulder, and then you want to stop a decent bit away from the entrance, because you don't want the boulder to fall on you right as it's coming out, but decent bit away, and then the boulder will roll, and then activate that teleporter. You'll end up at this gray site here on the map. And so what you're going to want to do is put some markers to make sure you know you're going the right way. And then you want to come to that tree, sort of. So you can hop on Torrent now. And then go to each of the markers. So once you're right about here, you also want to be very careful, because there's enemies that'll try to snipe you. So keep that in mind. And they probably will hit you a decent amount of time, so make sure you're healing up as you go. Especially right here, is where like 2 or 3 of them will hit you, so be very careful. But as soon as you can, just hop off. Feel free to activate the Site of Grace, but there's another one very close by. And then now you don't need to even worry about taking damage, because there's just that thing, 1 or 2 of them. What I'd recommend is stay away from their feet, because they could do that jump attack and you don't want to get caught underneath it. Either way though, another gray site right up here, as you can see. And then before we get any further, we want to come back here in order to give the Glintstone key that we found a short while ago to the local homeless man, so he can gain access to the homeless shelter. So we also want to give him some runes. I mean, it's honestly a very little amount of runes. He probably needs more. I wish he asked for more, because I now kind of feel bad. Either way, you just want to talk to him, talk about the key, and then give him the key, and then you get the Erudition gesture. You want to equip it. After that, come back to the mausoleum compound. And then we'll be coming through here. We're going to also fight a boss here, but very weak boss. So, pop the flask. And I'd recommend you have Comet, just so that you can one-shot these these enemies, just common mobs. Feel free to use your Jellyfish shield now that you have the added strength from the, +5 stats from Godrick's rune, which allows us to use the shield. Either way, summon your dogs, and then just keep spamming this spell. To start out, this boss, his attacks are very easy to read. You may get hit once or twice, but then very soon you'll knock him down. And then, obviously, he becomes more dangerous once you've knocked his health down, like, halfway, as with any boss in this game. But he'll be dead so fast that, it won't be a bother to you at all. So also from that fight, we got the Magic Shrouding Crystal tier. You want to equip that as soon as possible. It gives you plus 20% magic damage. Either way, you want to hop up here and then hop onto this sort of rock area, and we'll be heading to that tower in the distance for an incredible spell that we'll need for one boss fight. But I mean, it's one boss fight, but we kind of need the spell. So use the Erudition gesture, wait a few seconds, and then the seal will open. Then you just want to loop around up, head up the ladder, or I mean head up the elevator, open the chest, and now you've gotten the Gavel of Haima. That's what we need. So now we head back to the Crystalline Woods, equip the Gavel of Haima. That's all you really need. You don't even need Rock Sling or anything. Maybe Glintstone Pebble if you want it, but I mean if you're able to equip things, you might as well. But Gavel of Haima is all we're going to use. So we're going to need 2 Stone Sword keys, which we already picked up. Then just head right in, activate the Site of Grace. As soon as you can, use the Magic Shrouding tier, and then try to have as much FP Cerulean tiers as you can, because you may need it. Especially if you decide to pick off the enemies in here ahead of time. But to keep things quick, you want to be able to run past all the enemies. If at all possible, you want to run past them. And then right over here, you want to pop your Flask of Wondrous Physic, because these enemies, obviously, you don't want to waste time killing them. Once you get in here, hide behind this pillar to avoid any magic attacks. And then you want to take on this spear guy first. So what you want to do is, the strategy, is to wait for the enemy to get back up and then knock them down with Gavel of Haima. So get back up, knock them down. They can't exactly get knocked down if they're already down, as you could probably understand. So wait for them to get back up, knock them down. And especially with our amount of mana, or FP rather, we can just get rid of each of them in sort of one hit. At first, we barely deal any damage, but once you get that sort of noise and they get knocked down, that shows that you're able to deal normal damage in a way. So I accidentally died one time, but it's very easy if you separate them and whatnot. So now we got Terra Magica, which puts a magic circle on the ground, which while we're in the circle casting spells, we get plus 35% magic damage, which is a significant amount. And Jellyfish Shield gives you plus 20% magic damage, so it's also another great item. So definitely use Jellyfish Shield as long as you can. Right around here, you just want to be hugging this left wall. Grab this, and then just keep hugging the left wall. You'll be going a decent distance. Just always pick the left side. Eventually, you'll grab this gray site right about here on the map. And then same strategy, just hug the left side. You'll eventually come to this magma. Don't worry about it. It won't really hurt you. Obviously, make sure you're on top of Torrent. And then just keep going. Eventually, you'll get around here to the Demi-Human Queen. And that dude over there is Primeval Sorcerer Azure. That's also the name of the Site of Grace. We'll be coming back in order to grab the Comet Azure spell from him, but we can't use it yet because it requires 60 intelligence. I mean, we can use it, but we also want to kill a certain boss in order to properly utilize the build. Right here, you just want to hop off Torrent and then head up the ladder. It's a pretty long ladder, but first ladder, second ladder, and then feel free to buy something from that guy. So third ladder, hop down here, run across the ladder, or I mean the bridge. Yeah, run across the bridge, hop up here, head on down. Feel free to grab the Golden Seed because you just want to grab as many as you can. They're pretty valuable. You want as many healing as you can. Avoid the hands in the ground. But either way, right about here, you don't want to immediately grab the map because that hand may rip you apart. So just wait for him to sort of come out. You want to sort of lure him in, and then you can loop around him to grab the map. So utilize your flasks. Make sure you got sort of even spread of healing and FP. You want plenty of healing because this boss does a decent chunk of damage. Either way though, once you get the little icon to summon, you just want to pop your flask. Don't even bother summoning because this boss is just going to rip apart your summons within seconds. So keep that in mind. And so with this boss, you're able to use these sort of sticks that have impaled whatever those creatures are by the little torches and whatnot. You can use that to block his path. Once you get him to around, what, 55% of health, he'll do his explosion attack. And then either way, you just want to keep a good amount of distance and then just cast. I recommend always cast Rock Sling when you're not facing him, because if you're facing him and he's coming towards you, you're only going to be able to dodge sort of towards him, which is kind of dangerous. But if you're sideways, the spell will have better way of hitting him, so it'll be straight, have better chance of hitting him, and on top of that, it'll make it safer for you to dodge. So once you can, equip the Cerulean tier, which gives you infinite FP usage for 15 seconds, I believe, which allows us to use the spell for 15 seconds, which is amazing, and you'll see why. So you're going to need to unequip a few spells to use Comet Azure because it takes 3 slots. And now to show you the build in action, cast Terra Magica for 35%, Shield for 20% extra damage, Flask, and then you just blast. Absolutely destroys bosses. And you can use this in the middle of a boss fight too, especially with your minions distracting the boss. You can just use it at any time in a boss fight, so definitely keep that in mind. Alright, well that's about it from me. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, or whatever. I'll have more content in the future, so definitely check that out. And wait, let's see, how long was I playing? Wow, less than 2 hours. Okay, yeah, you can definitely do this in less than 2 hours. See ya.